Okay. I'm gonna maybe mute. You guys want to mute your lines while I'm going? See if that doesn't. All right, cool. So I appreciate you guys all being on the call. It's kind of cool to see some faces and connect, even though some of us live pretty far apart and have busy lives at home, and that. So appreciate you guys taking the time. Let's see here. So first thing I want to kind of talk about is 3-day trials and just kind of talk about what's happening, what kind of success we've been having, and why we want to really be moving in that direction whenever possible. And so I think I'm at like 15 different 3-day trials that I've gotten out, and most of which has come through social media, just kind of posting about that. And the fact that it's $20 is just an easy way for people to get introduced to the products. And so, I love that aspect of it. It's a real low commitment in the fact that it's only 3 days, and it gives you an opportunity to get somebody started on the products, maybe in a little bit faster than you normally would. So sometimes when we go and we're doing a wellness profile with people, it can take like 2 hours, well, I don't know, an hour, hour and a half, depending on how much you talk or um, how kind of fluid you are with it. So the fact that the 3-day trial, I mean, realistically, all we need is, some good starting numbers. We need them to know how it is to take their shakes, right? How to make their shakes, how to take their total control, and basically you can get them started right away. So the follow up with this is going to be the key. I've definitely noticed that since I started doing this 3-day trials, that it's really jump started my or really just kind of accelerated how good I am at follow up. Making sure that I'm checking in each of those 3 days and calling and talking to them. How did you make your shake today? How did you feel? And then really helping them troubleshoot anything like how were they from a hunger standpoint, and really helping them set some snacks up for themselves. So you can kind of start. It's like they're a customer and they're taking the products and you're teaching them how to eat in that process, as well as maybe planting seeds for when they're done with their 3-day trial. You can then, you've already maybe planted the seed about getting PDM and Formula One because you've kind of talked about that. Now it's time to do the day 4 where you're meeting with them, and you've already kind of talked about the importance of that. You're talking about water. So then day 4, you meet with them again, and you're doing a presentation and talking about the things that we do, like cellular nutrition, and talking about the doctors and that the products are safe and that, and in that process can kind of go a little bit quicker. And so that part, it seems to just kind of break it up, so it's not as daunting of a task either. So the other thing about the 3-day trial is that it's easier for me to ask a friend or family member for $20 than it is to ask them for, if they were to get started on a quick start plus PDM, we're talking about $180. And so that can be, just a little bit daunting, like I don't know about asking my brother for $180. I kind of know his situation and, all of this. Whereas, I can ask both him and maybe my sister for $20 to get started on this. And then I kind of start coaching them through that process. Um, so you'll get more people that'll be interested in it simply because of the low commitment and the, you know, cheaper cost or lower cost, I guess. Um, and then one of the things that's really just caught my attention recently, and I've been paying more attention to, is it's almost better in some instances to get 3 referrals from somebody than it is for them to go through that 3-day trial and get started on a plan and not give you any referrals, right? Because you can start one person on a 3-day trial and from then continue to kind of go down the line with referrals and that. So really, I mean, definitely at the end of the day, our goal is to get people on products and get them a result. but getting referrals is definitely going to be another thing that's going to kind of help, drive your business and help us, kind of grow like we want to. So, what are some things we can do, to kind of ask for referrals? I don't know, Amber, Anthony, can you guys jump in here a little bit, maybe with what you guys have done from 3 day trials and have any referrals come from that? I just feel like I was talking so much. I'm like, let me give somebody else the mic for a bit. You there? There you go. There you go. There you go. Now you're on.
You can hear us now?
Yeah.
Okay. I probably had my speaker. Anyways, well, one of them I know that she works with. She's a nurse, so she's working with. People are starting to ask her about it, so I think we're going to be getting referrals from her for the product. And then I have another friend that she just started it in Manhattan, and her friend and her daughter actually all started it on the same day. And then from there, her niece and her fiance want to get on it. And then Lisa, one of the girls, I think she wants to go ahead and get started on the products completely, and so does Stacy. So it's just, yeah, once they start getting results and they're liking it, they're starting to tell their other family members. So, and they've been watching us for a while, and we tried to get them. They did a shake and tea, and probably what 2-3 months back. Yeah, probably 2 months back, and they just weren't ready to jump all in, and because they just didn't know if they'd want to do it until the 3 day trial, and they're loving it. So she loves the energy and she loves the shakes. So you want to say anything else?
Well, what we did was just post a lot on Facebook, and then once I didn't get any, likes or anybody like that, I went through my messenger and messaged people, and that's how we got up to 12 to 15 out within 2 days. But it's just we do the follow ups, but a lot of the times they say don't fill you up, but me and Ben's talk on the phone and text through healthy snacks in between, but they just said they still ain't getting the nutrition or
they just don't
get filled up.
They're hungry.
Yeah,
they're hungry. Well, I think people's misconception is they're going to drink a shake and they think they don't have to eat for 4 more hours, and that's so wrong. I mean, I really think that's what people think. Here's your shake, that should be your breakfast, I shouldn't be hungry till lunch. And that is so not true. I mean, it's only 15 grams of protein. It's a lot, but it's not going to keep you full till, if you drink that 8 o'clock, by noon, you're going to be starving. No wonder you're hungry. You need to eat in an hour and a half to 2 hours. You got to eat more, or you need to add more protein to that shake to start with. Eat some more yogurt, put some more protein in it. So that's kind of what we've been telling from the start. You should not be hungry. This isn't to starve you or to make you feel unsatisfied, So I think that's the biggest thing that we've had.
But just don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged when people don't hit like on your stuff. Just go out. You might have to just message them, text them personally. And I think that's how I've gotten out 50 to 70 of them, and we've got feedback on about 20 people saying we're going to do it. A lot of people text bags. Sorry, I'm not going to list it.
What do you use for language when you're sending that out, Anthony? What's your message saying?
What is it, babe? We have I don't know. We just we have a good 3 day trial opportunity, to get started on. It breaks down on the 2 shakes a day plus your 2 total controls a day, and and I give them the cost price. It's a good way to, opportunity for them to jump on. MC. Yeah. Just get. I don't know. Just I'll have to get my phone and see. I have it written down though.
That's cool. So you're pretty much using the same one every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. That's great. Because anything like that is very duplicatable. So you can go and teach Jeremy the same thing. If he were to choose to start messaging people, and you can use that exact same script. So I think that's one of the really cool things about Herbalife, and is that you don't doesn't have to be completely original. You don't have to spend a bunch of time and energy trying to figure out your own thing. And actually, if you do, it takes longer, and you'll go slower. That there are scripts out there and things that people have used, and just jump onto that and make it your own, and it'll work for you. So that's great. Frank, I know you've had quite a bit of let's see now. So maybe Frank, can you tell us like what your result has been? How long you've been on the products? Maybe how much weight have you lost?
Yeah, I've been on products, I think 8 weeks now, 2 days ago, and I've lost about 27.5 pounds.
Wow. And then so you started doing some of the 3-day trials. You got quite a few out already, right?
Yeah, I think I got about 8 of them out now.
Okay. Maybe talk about how that's been working. How have you gotten 8 out?
Hell, man, I don't know. Luck, I guess. I don't know. Really now Facebook, and then I've had people on them, and one person got they lost 8 pounds in 3 days, and that kind of shocked a lot of people on Facebook. So that kind of
Okay. Yeah, I think you're breaking up a little bit there, Frank. You there?
so, fantastic results, and post on Facebook about the results of it, and obviously other people only get those results.
Okay. Yeah, I think we lost you a little bit there, Frank, but I definitely know that I've been watching Frank and what he's been doing on social media, and just generating a lot of conversation around it. It's like this person has lost this much weight, or this person's getting started on their plan, and then going in and really working comments too. People are commenting on it. He'll throw some funny little picture in there that people are going to comment on, and that just increases the likelihood that people are going to see it on a daily basis. So he says luck being funny, but he's really been working it quite a bit with the social media and posting out there, and so that's really powerful. It can really, really help you out. While we're on that topic, I guess one of the things that I've put together was a little strategy for myself of when I was going to post and what I was going to post on a consistent basis. And so it comes to this time of day, or on this day of the week, here's the post I'm going to do. Instead of just kind of going, I did for a while, I went like whenever I felt like posting something, I would post something. And then, started to look at it a little bit more like this is my business, and I'm the CEO of this business. And I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can do from a social media strategy to, to be the most effective and get the word out there, educate and inform people about what it is we do, on a consistent basis. So anyone who wants to kind of know a little bit more about what specifically I do, message me. I'd be happy to kind of walk you through what those posts look like. And just because you may not have coached somebody to lose, weight or to have more energy yet, it doesn't mean you can't use any one of those stories that are out there, because that's what's possible with Herbalife. And so, feel free to post those and say, hey, look at my friend Anthony's results, look at my friend Tiffany's results, those are, it's really, really cool. And people are like, oh, wow, they see the before and after picture, and it really generates some conversation around that. So hit me up if you guys want my help with that, or want some ideas on what to do there. I'd be happy to help.
Yeah.
So, what's that, Frank?
I said I always show people Balance's picture. That's just, his transformation is crazy, and that just gets everybody's attention.
Yeah, definitely. 60 pounds he lost, and that one is like, they're like, is that real? It doesn't look real. Like, no, it's real. I was there. I took the picture, right? So it's cool. So let's see. So basically, what our goal is in this process is to help people get results, right? That's our number one goal. And those results can be anything from feeling good to, I know Phil was talking about Rebuild Strength yesterday, and just saying, wow, like the soreness, right? He wasn't as sore after workouts as what he had normally had been. and so that's our ultimate goal, is to get people results. And then from there, we want to create raving fans, right? So that's going to be our goal, raving fans that are just love Herbalife, love the products. And then from there, we can start to kind of look at transitioning them into showing them the business opportunity. So one of the things that's going on right now with the 3-day trials is this Moms on the Move. And I don't know, Tiffany, did you have time to listen to that call?
Yeah, I did. A lot of it is basically just an HOM, and it's a bunch of testimonials from different moms that have been on the products and started the business. Basically, they have more time to spend with their kids. Their kids love the products. Their families are loving the products. Just encouraging moms to kind of become part of this community, kind of centered around fitness and nutrition.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's a recorded call, right? So if I know somebody who, and the way we started talking about this, Tiffany, we were up here at the club. We were hanging out yesterday, and she mentioned a friend of hers that was a new mom, wasn't working, and potentially that, could see that the business opportunity could help her to earn some part-time money. So basically now what she would do is she would, get her on a 3-day trial, right? Get her to try the products. If she wants to lose weight, it would be 2 shakes a day. If she's looking to just have more energy or maintain, then it's going to be 1 shake a day, kind of as a snack, right? And just have her get the products in her system. And then she would say, hey, why don't you listen to this? Why don't you listen to this, recorded call of some people, kind of sharing some of their results that they've had with Herbalife. It's a 15-minute call. So then she could listen to that. Tiffany could say, hey, call me back once you listen to it. Or if when do you think you would have time to listen to that call? And she says Wednesday. Then, okay, so Thursday, if I call you, you will have listened to the call. And she'll say, yeah, okay, well, then I'll call you Thursday at this time. And, then it's like, wow, this person, I don't know, what are some of the testimonials? Somebody making a couple $100. I haven't listened to the call specifically, Tiffany, but
I don't remember specifically what the income was for a lot of the women, but it was like 500 to 2,500 part-time, working around like small kids, like they're homeschooling, but they're still earning this income on the side and able to kind of do it in between their daily life with their kids.
Cool. So the thing that's very duplicatable, right? Anybody can go and take that and send a mom onto that call, and then kind of, take them through the next steps. And so what are the next steps? So we're going to have another call that's going to be coming up that Brad's putting together now for people who are interested in taking a look at Herbalife from an entrepreneurial standpoint. And so there'll be a similar call. Basically, yeah, it's like an HOM. They're listening to and so for those of you who are new, an HOM is a Herbalife opportunity meeting. So they're basically getting introduced to it via that pre-recorded message. And then we're going to plug those people into, so we watched last night, Tiffany and Phil and Frank and Amber and Anthony, I guess. Yeah. We watched a documentary on our industry last night. Just an incredible 50 minutes with some pretty renowned authors and speakers that, just kind of talked about network marketing and what it means, what it is as far as a business goes, and where it's headed in the next 10 years and things like that. So very, very powerful, video that you can show somebody. So that would be something too that that would be kind of the next steps. That video does a way better job than I could ever do explaining network marketing and what our industry's about. And so I'm going to let that video do the work for me. I feel like I could give that video to somebody who's way above me from a professional standpoint, the president of a company, like you got to have your stuff together to have a conversation with that person about the business opportunity. But I'd feel confident sending him this documentary and then saying, okay, let's talk about what you what you thought of it afterwards, you know? So just a really, really powerful tool. And so the system that'll be with that, we'll kind of see that unfold here in the next couple weeks, kind of as we have that lined out exactly what that looks like. But the Moms on the Move, if you know any, you know, now would be a great time to kind of get them plugged into that call. Hey, take a listen to this call. Sorry. And then, you know, they could just kind of tell you what they think of it from there. So a couple other things. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time, but let's see. So we have December 13th, which is a week from Saturday, is our next success training school. And so that'll be at the KCI Expo Center again. Brad Harris is actually going to be our you know, guest speaker, local leadership. That'll be
Who's that?
Brad Harris. Yeah, you'd find yeah. So you know, Brad's definitely mentored me, and he's our upline president's team member. So there's only one of those, and well, two of those in the Kansas City area. One is the other one is from the Latino group, but so Brad and Pam have been doing the business 20 years. Just very well read, I would say personal development and leadership expert. That if you know anybody who's interested in personal development or leadership, you know, if there was ever a training to get to, it would be this one. You know, Brad is just really going to, you know, bring some incredible, the newest stuff that he's learning, he's going to bring, and it's going to be fantastic. So a week from Saturday, definitely hope to see all of you guys there. Let's see. That'll also kick off our body transformation payout. So that registration will open that day. So it'll be open from December 13th until January 19th. So you have that window where if you have anybody who's maybe going to go after Grand Champion, you know, and kind of take that crown from Amber, you know, then that would be kind of when it would start, would be that day. Also on that day, we'll have our Christmas party. So Brad's organization is doing his Christmas party. And there was a qualification that you had to make to get there. You had to be supervisor. And so Amber and Anthony both, let's see, they qualified for that. So congratulations to them. They'll be able to, you know, come to that Christmas party. And it's really cool. It'll be right after the STS or a little bit after. And they'll do the top 10 in Brad's organization from a volume standpoint. They'll do the top recruiters. They usually do a raffle and give away all kinds of cool gifts and things like that. So congratulations, you two, for making supervisor and making it there. The rest of you guys, you know, next year it'll be something to look forward to. It's a ton of fun. The DJ stays, and you know, there's music, and I don't know if you guys have seen any of the pictures, but it'll be a good time. So there's that, and then two other events I just kind of want to talk about. One is we're doing a train the trainer training, I guess. So it's basically if you wanted to get up on stage and you wanted to be one of the trainers at the STS, this would be a perfect opportunity for you to kind of get in and talk through some of the things. It'll be a training. I don't know exactly where it'll be, but it'll be in January. And so a great way to, you know, kind of get your feet wet a little bit before you see the speakers that are up there, and it looks, you just see the finished product, you know, or maybe not even finished, but a little polished, and you think, I could never do that. But trust me, I was up there, the guy who was nervous as all get out, and I still get a little nervous getting up there, but you know, this thing will be an opportunity to kind of learn from people who have done it a ton, and you know, they'll give you some of the tricks. So if you're interested in that, let me know there. And then January 31st is our January kickoff. So kind of going into December. So it's December 3rd, right? We got this whole month. In a month from now, everyone is going to have, you know, fitness, losing weight on their mind. It's just, it is, I don't want to say it's easy to do the business at that time, but business definitely, people have that on their mind. And so it's a great opportunity to really make some extra money, start to build an organization if that's a goal of yours, or raise your discount, get your discount up to 50%, whatever your goal is. This is an awesome time for that. So kind of taking some time and going, what do I want to do? What are some things I can do now that'll help me be prepared for that January. I think I've seen that. There's like one of those pictures, and at the top it's like the gym in December, and the gym's all empty. You can just see the equipment, and then underneath it's like gym in January, and there's like a Royal Rumble, and there's everybody in there. So that's how it's going to be. And so being able to capitalize on that and be prepared for that will definitely be powerful should you choose to. So you have the body transformation challenge that you can plug people into. That'll be $15. They'll be able to, have a chance to win up to $600. I think that's a great opportunity to say, look at my friend Amber, look what she won. Look at my friend Anthony, look what he won. Look at my friend Ben and what he's won in the past. And you can kind of go through, Facebook pages and see those things. And this is real. You win cash, and so. Those people who are motivated by money may be interested in taking a look at that. So we're going to do a weight loss challenge here at the Nutrition Club. So we'll probably do 8 weeks and just mirror the body transformation challenge. So they get into one, then they get into the other, and they kind of have 2 chances to win some money. So take a look at that. Okay. So what else? Anybody got any questions? I kind of feel like I talked for a while, but hopefully you guys got some value out of it. If there's anybody else have any question, anything they want to talk about?
Do you when you have them do that 3-day trial, how are you having them eat?
How am I having them eat?
When they're eating the shakes, they're using that for the 2 meals, right?
Yeah.
And that varies based upon the person, right? So whatever their goals are, but generally speaking, I'm like, okay, the plan calls for 2 shakes, 2 snacks, 1 meal. And when I say snack, I make sure that I emphasize that it's a protein snack, And so, if their goal is to lose weight, then that's what I'm gonna do, And then I send them over. There's a protein snack list options. I'll send them that too. I'll usually type something up in an email real quick and just say, hey, here's what we talked about: 2 shakes, 2 snacks, 1 meal. And, then you kind of get them going, how they make their shake. Then, like when Amber said, they're hungry, then that's a good opportunity for me to talk to them about, what did you eat today? Well, I had an apple and a banana.
Yeah, that's normal.
Okay. How much protein is in that?
None.
Really none. So then that allows me to keep the conversation going. But it varies, Jeremy. As a general rule, I like men to get 150 grams of protein and women to get 100 grams of protein on a daily basis. Now, it's different if you're talking about somebody who's maybe into some bodybuilding and lifting, and they've already got a big protein number that they hit on a daily basis. Then I might use that more for a snack for them, or at least they're getting the products in them.
For the majority of people that are trying this out, are they already going to the gym or have just enrolled into a gym or anything like that?
No.
I don't think so.
I would say the majority of them aren't in a gym at all.
No.
They're more curious.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're just going to work and as normal and doing their regular day stuff.
Yeah, and then so I have some that they want to make their shake first thing in the morning, and they wanted to make it for dinner, so they didn't have to take it with them to work. And then talking to them about, okay, what are you going to have for lunch, and help them pick some options. Most people just have no idea what they need to be eating. They don't know. Do they need to? I mean, some people will be like, well, should I stay away from bread? I'm like, well, probably, but it depends on some other factors too. It's like, instead of focusing on so much about what to stay away from, it's like, let's make sure we're getting enough protein. What are our options? What do you like? Send them that list so they can take a look at that list and and kind of build from there. But yeah, and then some people, I have a gal who just started and she wanted to just shake it up. Easy for her, so she'll just tear it open. She puts it right there in her shaker cup with some water, shakes it up, and drinks it. And so then she could use that as a snack. Maybe she could do that mid morning and mid afternoon. But some general rules for weight loss, that I believe in is to do not go longer than 3 hours without eating. Hit your protein number, get enough water, some things like that, and just kind of start simple to make sure they have the basics and a strong foundation, and then build from there.
I guess the reason I ask is I know a lot of these people that are interested, from what I kind of heard, don't go to the gym. They say they don't really have a whole lot of time to do the gym. If they do the gym, it's probably going to be like 2 or 3 days a week type of thing. And I've really never worked out like that. I've always kind of went 5-6 days a week and got my results that way. So I didn't know with what kind of, if you guys did the 2 shake a day deal, like what kind of results you got with the typical person that just went to a 9 or 8 to 5 job and didn't really work out a whole lot.
Yeah, for me, what I've seen is the people who tend to get the best results are the ones who are replacing, from a weight loss standpoint, who are replacing a terrible meal with a more healthy meal, right? So they're swapping it out for a shake, and it even says that in the language, swap it for a shake. And so now instead of a 900 calorie lunch, they're doing a 200 calorie lunch. That's a big switch over a period of time, So the first week tends to be the biggest jump, definitely does. That's where people tend to lose the most weight. And then I like to think about it like 1/2 pound to 2 pounds a week, depending on how much weight they have to lose. And then so my language will be to them, the more active they are, the faster it's going to go, because our belief is it's 80% what you eat and 20% your physical activity. But I also don't want people to think if they don't go to the gym, then they can't get results. Most people, especially when you talk about some people maybe who are more overweight and less active, like even if they just walked at a good brisk pace for 30 minutes a day, they'd be making a big impact on things, and adding in, because that will help speed up their metabolism, as well as some of the things they're doing, eating every 2 to 3 hours, getting protein in those meals to help them feel satisfied.
And how many teas come with the starter pack, the 3-day trial?
So there's 6 total controls. And so they would so it's actually tea in a tablet form, and they'll take that twice a day. So ideally they would take it first thing in the morning when they have their shake, and then with lunch when they have their shake, if that's the route they're going. Because there is a little bit of caffeine in there, so we want that earlier in the day to help them kind of get through their day, fuel their day, and all that.
And do they get some of the tea with that?
No, they won't get tea with that. Just a total control. Mm-hmm.
Just total control. Okay.
Yeah. But then that's where it's like, okay, once they're done with their 3 days, then we have a conversation, around, whatever we get them started with. Because a quick start will have a tea, but some people are like, well, I don't do tea. I just don't do any tea at all. And so then if that's the case, then, okay, the total control. And some people will notice too. Some people will notice maybe faster than others. It just depends on how their body responds to caffeine. They'll take one of those total controls and be like, man, I don't know what was going on, but I was bouncing off the walls yesterday, So and people get the same thing from the tea too. So it's you got options, and really building a plan once they get a result and they want to go forward with something. The plan will be built on, what's their budget, how quick do they want to reach their goals. Those kind of 2 things factor in.
Yeah.
And I know, a lot of people, a lot of people I know have done a lot of different products, so they're automatically going to think, well, your stuff's a lot more expensive, that type of thing. And they're really not going to get it. So they're going to think, well, I can just go online and buy Muscle Farm or, whatever. How you guys been kind of combating that? like with people that actually have done it for a while?
Yeah, so from I mean, at that one level, I was one of those people, who knew everything, or I thought I knew everything when I got started. So, um, and Amber and I had this conversation a little bit last
Yeah.
night about, can you get them to? So first of all, it's like they buy the products, but they get you as a coach. And so that's what we need to, you need to start edifying yourself to them, Peck. You have to let them know that you're going to be following up with them. You're going to be able to help them reach their goals, and that, feel confident that you're getting educated. You're continuing to get educated from, you know, top doctors, top, people in the company who have a ton of experience. So some of those we'll see, and maybe you haven't seen yet, but they've trained me as well, and so, or us, and so we're training you as well. So that's something that people need to feel, with that confidence that you're getting me with it. So I'm gonna call you and see, just the same thing like you posted today, about Anthony calling you and saying, hey, where's how you doing with your results, or what's your goal, to be in the top 5. Those types of things are what come with it, that you will definitely, they'll figure out over time. But also, one of the things that I think we should be confident in is that these are the best products in the world. Ask Phil what he thinks about Rebuild Strength now. Tell me that isn't the best recovery drink you've ever had.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've done multiple different recovery drinks, and so far, I mean, it's phenomenal for me. Today I went and worked out, and I'm still not sore from my workout earlier today. I can barely lift my arms after I left the gym earlier today, and now I'm full range of motion right now.
Yeah. So that it is the top of the line, newest, most up to date sports nutrition science that's in our products. So that's something that I just feel completely confident in, and our job it's not to persuade people. It's not. We can present what we have, and then we leave it up to them. And at some level, people that aren't interested in it, they're that's fine. Maybe the timing isn't right for them right now, but just know that there's tons and tons of people out there who would love to be impacted, by these products, and so one of the things that I've found to be successful, that actually started with a trainer that I'm working with, is he's taking some other protein, and he has a number in his head that he thinks he needs to hit on a daily basis. So I had him add Formula One Sport to his existing protein. So basically he went from 40 grams of protein in one shake to 49 when he added Formula One Sport to it. So he's doing that twice a day. I set him up with his meal plan. How much protein should he get? How many, when he eats, and kind of just like I would anybody, walk through their specific plan with what are some foods you like, when are we going to eat, what's your day like, and you just kind of, that's what we do as coaches, is we teach them how to eat, and around their schedule. And he noticed a huge difference, just in how he felt. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but I just feel great. So people who know how their bodies respond to products will know when they get Formula One Sport in them, when they get Herbalife products in. Formula One Sport has 100% of your daily need of vitamin C, which is going to help with your recovery. It's got 1 gram of glutamine, so it's going to help with your, building muscle, as well as some of that soreness a little bit too. And so get them to add that to existing to what they're drinking, and then see how they're doing. How do they feel, and they'll notice a difference.
And then get them on that rebuild.
You're talking about having those guys use it kind of like I use it then?
Well, I'm not 100% sure how you use it. I guess, Jeremy, I'm not.
Well, I remember I use other things like hydrolyzed whey right after I work out, because it hits your system faster within an hour. Or after an hour, it's completely gone out of your system. in your muscles and through digested. So I add that since actually I started doing the 24 as well. So I'm not using my hydrolyzed whey as much anymore because I want to see what this 24 does. I'm more using that now, leaning towards that just to see what it does.
Are you talking Rebuild Strength or the Formula One Sport?
Yeah, the Rebuild.
Okay.
So usually I would use Optimum Nutrition, the synthesized whey, right after my workout. Right now I'm kind of doing the 24, and I'm bumping it up with my other stuff a little bit, so that way I get a little bit higher protein out of it. It's also a little less fat, no cholesterol, because it's processed to take out the cholesterol. So that's how I kind of use it. And then sometimes I'll actually use the 24 along with my other vanilla stuff, just because I think it tastes better than whey protein. You can definitely tell it's whey protein, So I'll combine the two. So I'll get like 9 grams plus, what was it, 24 grams?
Yeah. Good.
One thing good to do with that would probably be use the PPP. That's what I've been doing on some of my shakes, especially Rebuild. I've been adding that to it, and it adds 5 grams of the protein per tablespoon. That's a good way to kind of hit that protein number as well and get a little bit more in you as well.
Rebuild.
Yeah.
You're talking about PPP.
Yeah, the personalized protein.
Personalized protein. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no cholesterol in that either, and that's basically just straight protein. So it's gonna, not gonna give you any more carbohydrates, and just basically gonna give you some protein. It's gonna keep your calories really low. I think there's like 20 calories for 5 grams, which is 2 tablespoons.
It's just strictly protein, but how many calories are in it?
20 for 5 grams. So that would be like you make your shake, you make a normal Formula One Sport, 24 grams plus, you add your PDM to it, your protein drink mix. So I'm at 24. Now I add another, 2 tablespoons of that. So I'm at 29 or 34 potentially. Now I'm like, okay, 34 is a pretty good size shake, so another option there.
That's kind of what I had this morning? That's usually my morning shake, is about 34. Almost every morning.
That's that grand champion plan. She's on there, right?
Anthony's like, Jay, stop it.
Here she is. Stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And Anthony's like,
all right, what else? Anybody else? No? Okay. Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys' time. Hopefully you got some value out of this, and this is something maybe I want to do once a month, so maybe we'll do this maybe either right before the beginning of the year. You think twice a month? Is that what that is? Okay.
Every other.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting twice a month. We'll do it twice a month here. That'll be good. It'll give us another time before the new year too. Let's go maybe everybody. So we're December 3rd. We got this whole month. Let's maybe shoot for some goals here. You guys anybody take a look at their goals for the month yet? And this could be, goals are goals. It could be around the business. It could be to get through without, getting into something or other with a family member around Christmas, or I don't know, but you know what I mean? It could be, there's a lot of different goals that it can be. So maybe Phil, Tiffany, you guys mind starting? Maybe can you talk about what some of the goals are you guys have for December?
I think I really need to work on my social media. So I think that's going to be my goal for December, is try to work on my posts, kind of, like you said, kind of create a schedule with that and work on that again.
Okay. Phil?
Goal for me, one thing I'm really trying to focus on right now is personal development. And so goal that I'm setting for myself is to pick up another book that you had actually recommended me, Ben. I want to try to finish that by the end of the year.
Okay. So Tiffany, can I offer you one small suggestion?
Yeah.
So we want to make our goals specific, right? So
Okay.
so working on my social media is kind of broad, right?
Right.
So what if you set a goal to that I want to do one post a day, or I want to do this many posts a week, or something like that.
Okay.
Think about that a little bit. I'm not going to put you on the spot in that sense, but let's make sure that you can measure your goals, right? So we want our goals to be specific, measurable, attainable, results oriented, and time bound. And so we kind of know some of that already. We're going to do them in December. Um, one post a day is attainable. Basically just kind of falling into that. So
Okay.
how about Amber and Anthony? You guys want to talk about your goals? Got any set up yet?
Just get out more 3-day trials. Hopefully, get out at least 15 by the month.
Okay.
I don't know, just stay in the gym, maintaining. And I added that Way 24 line in there now. So I'm going to try to put on some muscle.
You're gonna put on some muscle. We're putting on some muscle. Yeah.
There you go.
Like that language. How about you, Amber?
I want to make a goal to get better at follow-up. I mean, I'm pretty good, but I definitely could grow in that area. And just, I like to continue educating myself on the products and just what's in them and how they work. So I have a goal of that for myself. And then just to get my other outside of Herbalife, because it's important right now, is to get my other career back, making sure. I think I had mentioned that. So
Yep.
making sure I have a job January 1st.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of my main goal right now.
Okay. Cool.
So, yeah.
All right, Jeremy. You got any goals in forefront of your mind?
Yeah, on Thanksgiving I ran that race, that 5K, and I got 7.5 minutes per mile. So I'm actually wanting to cut that to 6.5 minutes per mile, because I think that'll probably. I was top 10, but I want to be top 5.
Okay.
So gonna try that out, and then I think the way to get there is probably I'm gonna shed probably a few more pounds. I've probably got 3 to 5 pounds to lose. That'll put me at 168, 170. I'd kind of like to transition that into add an inch on my arm. So I'm kind of torn how exactly I'm going to do that with doing so much cardio, but I may, I'd rather cut down and improve my time first, and then later on add a little mass.
6.5 is moving, dude. I'd be happy with a 9-minute mile right now, but 6.5 is moving. So
yeah, I did 7.5, and I think I could do better.
Jeez, I'm at 15. No, I'm like, woo, 15 minutes, 1 mile.
all right, Frank, you got any goals you want to share with us?
Stacy's on too.
Brian, I'm sorry, Ben. Actually, I do. Brian and I are doing that competition at your shop, right?
Uh-huh.
My goal is to beat him, just for the simple fact of posting on Facebook will cause a buzz. You know what I mean? It gives some people something to talk about.
Uh-huh.
You talk about your results. People want to know how you did it, why you did it. It'll create messages. And
What do you think? What do you think it's gonna,
beat Brian?
what do you think it's going to take to beat him? What do you think it's going to take to beat him, Frank?
Dedication, sacrifices. That's what it's going to take.
Okay. All right. You got Christmas in there, Christmas Eve, all of those. Cut in.
I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
And then plus getting better at FaceTime people. I'm not good at talking to people, face to face. I start getting nervous. I'll work on that.
Yeah. That's good.
Posting behind something I'm okay, but face to face, I'm not good at that.
Okay. Well, play to your strengths as much as you can, Frank, and then work on those things little by little as you can too. Push yourself just a little bit. But if you're better at messaging on Facebook and texting, and it's effective and it's working, play to that as much as possible. And then that's one of the coolest things that I'm most proud of and happiest about Herbalife is that whatever it is that wherever you want to go, Herbalife can be that vehicle that can help you do it. right? And so that may mean getting uncomfortable. It may mean getting up there on stage and telling your story, giving your testimonial when you're nervous as all get out, you know, but then the more times you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. And then just think about this. You just get this immense pride from it, from knowing that you looked something that, you know, was that you were afraid of or that you were uncomfortable with and went and did it. So it's like, wow, that's just nothing. It's no big deal now. But if you guys could have saw me when I was first getting going, man, it was like a train wreck up there sometimes. So that's really cool.
Well, I think this helps too. Doing this one-on-one with you, Ben,
Oh,
it
yeah.
helps me a lot to speak up a little better. Because when we get in that wellness coach class, it's like,
Yeah, you
don't
look on
pick
there,
me.
there's 60 people on there, right? It's a whole different deal. So yeah, that's good. You know, we'll keep growing this call too, and it'll be a great way to just talk about it. And you know, be honest with you guys too. I'm getting on this call here tonight, and my heart's beating a little fast. I'm like, who's gonna be on the call? Is it gonna be good? You know, all that. That stuff's real, man. And just the more times you do it, the easier it gets. So yeah. All right, Stacy. How about it? You got anything on your mind? Any goals that you have that you would share with us for December?
Well, my main goal is to get to the meeting next Saturday, and then to get in shape and healthy.
Okay, I like that. That's probably my favorite goal out of everybody's right now. Goal is to get to the STS next weekend. So that's awesome. All right. So goals for me, I'll go ahead and share mine and just kind of this moment where I'm going to put it out there. I have a goal to do 10,000 volume points this month. So that's a big goal. So I've not done that yet, but gotten close a couple of times. 4 new frontline members is my goal, and that's pretty much most of the time a running goal for me, you know, that I want to recruit 4 people to either enjoy the products as a member, right? So they can get a discount, a wholesale member, or, you know, even better is to show them about the business opportunity and then they want to grow maybe an organization themselves. You know, read my 30 minutes every day. That's just to make creating that habit. 30 minutes every day. I'll set a clock on my phone, a timer on my phone, where it'll start playing music when I'm at the end of that 30 minutes. So just like Phil talked about, personal development, you know, that's big, man. I've heard if you read 30 minutes every day, you could read 2 books a month. I'm like, okay, reading 24 books a year. Wow, that's a ton of knowledge that I can put into my brain, you know? So, so then that, and then kind of a little bit more abstract goal is to, you know, well, no, and I guess this is a bigger goal. For our Body Transformation Challenge, one of my goals is that our group, meaning, you know, everybody that'll get into it, will have 1,000 people in this Body Transformation Challenge. So that's a goal of mine, is that there's 1,000 people in there competing for those spots, you know. Just because of what that'll do from changing lives on a massive impact level, you know. So I have some other, I don't have them specifically in front of me, but some other kind of PRs for my, you know, CrossFit workouts right now too. But yeah, maintaining through the holidays and not gaining weight, other than muscle, is always another goal as well too. So it'll be a challenge, right? Because there's tamales and enchiladas and, you know, you name it, pizza and cookies and all this other stuff, you know. So yeah, just kind of fighting that off, you know. Okay, cool. I appreciate you guys' time. It's definitely very cool to sit and talk with you guys. So we'll do this again. Just before what what day of the week tends to be best for you guys?
Tuesday, Wednesday, probably.
Okay.
Wednesday be good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Any
Wednesday.
day but
What was that, Stacy?
any day but Monday.
Okay. How about you, Frank?
It don't really matter as long as it's later in the evening like this, because all my kids are in sports all every day. So
Okay. Maybe 8:30 Wednesday, 2 weeks from now. We can maybe
Yeah.
tentatively set for that. That work for everybody?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, maybe we'll anything. So social media. What other things would you guys want covered on this call so I could kind of prepare for that?
Another thing too, like you can throw out there, everybody else is tell your people that you associate with on a daily basis that there's an 8-week challenge coming up. So that'd be another way to get on some product, and then for them to jump on that, 8-week body challenge too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that go to the gym or whatever too. A lot of the guys, they want to compete. They're in their late 20s, 30s, or whatever, and they want to compete, do something fun. So get them on some Herbalife product and get them in that 8-week body challenge. Like even make little flyers and post them up somewhere in your work or wherever you're at, or your family members post something up for you. That'd be another way too, to get a couple of people to get on that.
Yeah, definitely. Those flyers can definitely work, and we'll see those go around either the Team Herbal Warriors page or on the Coaching Corner. Get those out there. So if you wanted to print them and have your number on them, then hey, somebody can reach out. You can do some pull tabs or something like that to it. So, let's see here. Anybody else? Anything else they want to see? No. Okay. Cool. We got it going. Oh, one other thing. You guys are. I forgot to mention. There's a real cool book that talks about skills for network marketing business. And I was talking to Frank and Tiffany and Phil about this last night. I think maybe Amber and Anthony were on the call, but it's called GoPro. So the guy's name is Eric Worre that wrote this book. And I didn't actually buy the book, but I've been on YouTube and listened to the audiobook. And it just really has some powerful tools that we can use to what we do with our language around inviting people and around, getting them started on the products or inviting them to come to a meeting or something like this. So just some really specific things that you can use there. So if you're looking for that next thing to kind of take your skills to the next level, that's a great book or audio book to listen to. That'll be one that I'll listen to several times too. Like I'll have it in the car and I'll just hear it and pick up a little bit here and pick up a little bit there, because it's really useful. And so, I'll just kind of tie that back in with what Brad talked about. So Malcolm Gladwell wrote this book called Outliers. And in that, he says that it takes 10,000 hours to master something, to become an expert in a specific field, So, you're not just going to walk into this thing and start making a ton of money, right away. And you definitely can go fast, depending on how much work you put into it and how much work you put into into developing your skills. And so basically what I'm saying is that this book, listening to it, can really help your skills go to the next level and kind of help you get there faster. So those are things that you can do on a day-to-day basis. So don't wait for me so much, or don't wait for your coach, right, as much. Go and build it on your own and start working on your own skills and really investing in your own business, because we're all entrepreneurs here, right? So we've all started our own business, but we're not by ourselves. So we're here to support each other and all that. So anyway, if you guys are interested, that's an incredible book. So, okay, if you guys haven't, go ahead.
Hey, I got one more thing for you.
Okay.
Hey, on Facebook, there's a girl that I started following a couple of months ago. her name is I think it's under like Fitness Chick or something like that.
Okay.
And basically what she does a lot of times, and she's with a different company, but what she has going on as a coach is kind of a cool thing. She shows a lot of times, different exercises. Like I know you come across a lot of different things that you do. And I've seen some of the stuff that you're doing, and I've thought about trying that in the gym. So she'll like show the technique. And then also a lot of times she'll show herself, most of the time that's what she does is shows herself prepping meals. So for instance, like I've given Amber a couple ideas of the stuff that I've done before. She actually records it. And so her viewers are, whoever's watching it, following her can see her prepping her meals and exactly, kind of sees how she goes about prepping her meals, or whether it's for the week or if it's just one meal for whatever. You got to check it out, just kind of see how she does it. She's obviously a stay-home mom, I think, for the most part, so she has a lot more time than I do to do that. But I think even if somebody was to do a little bit of what she does, it's pretty helpful for anybody out there.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you got to check it out. You can grab her name off of my Facebook page.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look. Definitely. Great to provide value to those that are out there watching us. And so seeing things like that is a way to provide value. They see that and they're like, oh, hey, here's how she meal prepped, so I'm going to meal prep. Or here's how she did this, and that's how I'm going to do that. Yeah. And so, that's great. So I'll take a look.
I could see you doing it, Amber. You gotta check it out.
Yeah. I will.
Yeah.
Things like even like I've seen people take an Instagram video and they, so what are they, 10 seconds long? And they'll take one and
Snapchat.
What's that?
Snapchat.
Oh, well, Snapchat, yeah. No, but I think Instagram videos are pretty short too. But basically they'll take water, pour it in a blender real quick, put their two scoops, blend it, and then add whatever. And you can kind of stop the video and piece it together. And so they'll basically make a shake right there and then post that video. And they're like, oh, that was pretty easy. You see them put 2 scoops of this, 2 scoops of that, water. And so there's a ton of things that you can do right there. And then people see that too. And they're like, oh, that was, if nothing else, it entertained me a little bit.
Yeah.
So if I entertain somebody, then the chances of them paying attention to what I do on a consistent basis are better. And they're like, oh, I saw Frank post that picture of Gina cleaning after she had taken a lift off. And you guys should have seen this post. Like, he caught her like bending down cleaning something on the floor or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he's like, look at her. She's got that lift off in her and she's cleaning the whole house up, Like,
there you go.
She saw it too. And like, so all these people are commenting and it's clever too, because he even threw in lift off, right? So he's like, people are like, lift off. And then there's this whole banter back and forth. So he did that in a very clever way. So continuing to do stuff like that is like, people find it humorous, and you're educating them a little bit. And, the chances of them paying attention when you say, hey, now I got this, who wants to go with me here? Or who wants my last 3-day trial? They're going to pay attention to it a little bit more. Now, if you're always posting something that they don't find any value in, then maybe they're not going to look as close, or, I don't know. So, it's this concept of giving. You want to give and entertain them. So great job, Frank. I'm watching what Frank's doing, and I'm trying to pick up some of those tips too. So, okay, cool. I appreciate you guys' time. Good chatting.
All right. Yep. Have a good night.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
See
Ben.
you guys next Saturday.
Yeah.
Yep, next Saturday.
Saturday.
Peace.